So it's all done with. No, not my role as Nerevarine. That I assume is with me for life. But the tribunal is done with, for now. It will go back to its traditional worship of ancestors in time, and with my guidance. But I need time away. I plan to rest at my manor in the Ashlands for a day, and then we'll go north to Solstheim. I don't hope to find much there, but I do hope to find some semblance of peace compared to what I have just gone through. Shani won't even talk about Almalexia, and Julan talks about her too much. I'm in as much pain for Almalexia as I am for Sotha-Sil. I had hoped to meet Sotha-Sil, to talk about Mundus and the gods. I was hoping to be blown away by his brilliance, and to learn something important. That ship has sailed, as they say. I will never be able to talk to him now. These gods are pillars of Morrowind, and now there are no more. What happens to Vivec now that the others are dead, I do not know. But after my time spent in Solstheim, I will return and get everything set right within the Tribunal Temple. Everyone doesn't need to know the details of how Almsivi left us, and I hope it is put into myth of some sort, where they just went away after protecting Morrowind for nearly 4,000 years. In fact, I will push for that end to their story. If it bothers me this much about what happened to them, I can only imagine what the rest of Morrowind will feel if they knew the truth as well. So, I will not give them that. There is enough hardship in life without knowing your gods, your protectors, for so long, met ignoble ends. After everything that's happened, I think this is a nice day to read a book before I leave Vivec. And Vardenfell for a while. The final lesson. Not that long, but long enough. The final lesson by a Grothius Goth. It is time for you to leave your apprenticeship here, said the great sage to his students, Taksim and Von Guldak. So soon, cried Von Guldak, for it has been but a few years since the training began. Are we such poor pupils? We've learned much for you, master, but you have no more to teach us? Taksim asked, You have told us so many tales of great enchanters of the past. Can't we continue to learn until we have reached some level of their power? I have one last story for you, smiled the great sage. Many thousands of years ago, long before the Cyrodiilic dynasty of Riemann, and even longer before the Septim dynasty ruled Tamriel, and before there was a mages guild, and when the land called Morrowind was known as Resdain, and the land of Elsewhere was called Aniquina and Palatine, and the only law of the land was the cruel ways of the Alessian doctrines of Maruk, there lived a hermetic enchanter named Dalak, who had two apprentices, Uthrak and Loreth. Uthrak and Loreth were both remarkable students, both equally assiduous in their learning, the pride of their master. Both excelled at the arts of the cauldron, mirror castings, the infusions of spiritas into mundus, and the weaving of air and fire. Dalak was very fond of his boys, and they of him. On a springtime morn, Dalak received a message from another enchanter named Piothil, who lived deep in the forests of the Colovian heartland. You must remember that in the dark days of the First Era, mages were solitary practitioners, with the only organized consortium being the Sygics of Artaeum. Away from that island, mages seldom saw one another, and even more rarely corresponded. Thus, when Dalek received Piothil's letter, he gave it his great attention. Piothil was greatly aged, and he had found the peace of his isolation threatened by the Alessian reform. He feared for his life, knowing that the fanatical priests and their warriors were close at hand. Dalek brought his students to him. It will be an arduous and perilous journey to the Colovian estates, one that I would fear partaking even in my youth, Dalek said. My heart trembles to send you two forth to Piothil's cave, but I know that he is a great and benevolent enchanter, and his light must continue to burn in the heart of the continent if we are to survive these dark nights. Uthrak and Loreth pled with their teacher not to order them to go to Piothil. It was not the priests and the warriors of the Alessian reform they feared, but they knew their master was aged and infirm, and could not protect himself if the reform moved further westward. Finally, he relented and allowed that one would stay with him, and the other would journey forth to the Colovian estates. he would let them decide which of them would go. The lads debated and discussed, fought and compromised, and at last elected to let fate make the choice. They threw lots, and Lorith came up short. He left early the next morning, miserable and filled with fear. For a month and a day, he tramped through the forest into the midst of the Colovian estates. Through some planning, some skill, and much assistance for sympathetic peasants, he managed to avoid the ever-tightening circle of the Alessian reform by crossing through unclaimed mountain passes and hidden bogs. When at last he found the dark caverns where Dalek had told him to search for Piothil, it was still many hours before he could find the enchanter's lair. No one appeared to be there. Lorith searched through the laboratory of ancient tomes, cauldrons and crystalline flutes, herbs kept alive by the glow of mystic circles, strange liquids and gases caught in transparent membranes. At last, he found Piothil, or so he presumed, the desiccated shell on the floor of the study, clutching tools of enchantment, scarcely seemed human. Lorith decided that he could do nothing further for the mage, and began at once the journey back to his true master, Dalek, and his friend Uthrak. The armies of the Reform had moved quickly since he passed. After more than one close near encounter, the young enchanter realized that he was trapped on all sides. The only retreat that was possible was back in the caves of Piothil. The first thing to be done, Lorith saw, was to find a means to keep the army from finding the laboratory. That, he found, was what Piothil himself had been trying to do. But by a simple error, even an apprentice enchanter could recognize, he had only succeeded in destroying himself. Lorith was able to take what he had learned from Dalek and apply it to Piothil's enchantments quite successfully. The laboratory was never found or even detected by the Reform. Much time passed. In the 480th year of the First Era, the great Aidan Durrani won many battles against the Alessian horde, and many passages and routes that had once been closed were now open. Lorith, now no longer young, was able to return to Dalek. When at last he found his way to his master's old hovel, he saw candles of morning lit in all the trees surrounding. Even before he knocked on the door and met his old fellow student Uthrak, Lorith knew that Dalek had died. "It was only a few months ago," said Uthrak, after embracing his friend. "He talked of you every day, of every year you were away. Somehow, he knew that you had not preceded him to the world beyond. He told me that you would come back." The gray-haired men sat before the fire and reminisced of the old days. The sad truth was that they both discovered how different they had become. Uthrak spoke of carrying on the master's work, while Lorith described his new discoveries. They left one another that day, each shaking his head, destined to never see one another again. In the years ahead, before they left the mortal world to join their great teacher Dalek, they both achieved their desires. Uthrak went on to become a respected, if minor enchanter, in the service of Clan Durrani. Lorith took the skills he had learned on his own and used them to fashion the Balak Therm, the Staff of Chaos. My boys, the lesson is you have to learn from a teacher to avoid those small but essential errors that claim the life of such self-taught enchanters as Piothil. And yet, the only way to become truly great is to try all the possibilities on your own. Interesting story. Well, feel like going to Solstheim? What can you tell me about Solstheim? Snow and Nords, ugh. No, you just reminded me. I don't like the cold either. But I did say I was going to go north, and that's about the only thing that I have left to do. I don't even have anything marked on there on my map. But we have to go to Khuul. And I guess I can go to Ald'Ruhn, go to Ald'Ruhn. And from there, maybe take Silt Strider. Let's do that. Hello again. Yeah, take me to Ald'Ruhn, actually. I didn't realize how tired I was. I think we traveled through all the night. I'm just very tired. Well, there's a bed here, but I would like Shani to be with me. I guess I've just grown accustomed to it.
How are you?
I find myself
in
pleasant company.
Well, let's rest for the day and leave the next day. Let's go to our home, my home. Spend the night. Spend the day, I guess. Should be yachty when I get up, but it is early. I don't know when I'll be back to my place. But, yeah. Let's go collect Julan, and let's make our way towards Khuul. Okay. Take us to... Oh, directly to Khuul. Didn't know you went directly there. Let's go. No ash storms. There wasn't an ash storm yesterday either. Very, very nice out. Especially for some target practice. Oh, they moved. I have to add a bit of deflection in my shot because we're also moving. I don't think that's going to hit. Too far away. It'd be a nice break to leave Morrowind because... Oh, wait. No, it's actually... Yeah, it's part of Skyrim. Solstheim. As it should be. It's full of ice and snow and Nords. Normally, I'd say it's not a place for me, but I don't want to return to Cyrodiil. I've had my fill of Morrowind for the time being. I guess it would be nice just to see something that's different. I suppose it is a little bit wasting a bit of a waste using my arrows up on these. I don't have any cheap arrows, so not on me. Gives me something to do, though. Magnus shining bright. What was the date again? Oh, it's almost... Sun's Dawn is almost over.
I thought I heard something.
Yeah, there's animals all around us. I remember, that's the cave I found that Dunmer who was missing, and I thought he was an Imperial. So I suppose we're going to go right past this town. Rain. Rain in the Ashlands. I guess everywhere it rains. So, I travel through here and there's this hills up ahead that are very hard, difficult to get over, but I suppose for a Silt Strider with his long legs it would be nothing. Nothing to slow down. Caravaner says, "Ha! Never mind a bath. All that sweating under the sun and sky, Dark Elf." I still feel Magnus is on me. It's weird rain. Rain and sun. Huh. Yeah, this is the part I had difficulty, but it was before I had levitation. But I did find my way over without levitation. It was last year, actually. Some point last year. I've almost been here for 6 months. Second month is nearly ending of the year 428.
I'll see you dead.
I came here in last seed, the 9th month of 427. I remember those ruins over there. Isn't that where I rescued the Red Guard? Memories of everywhere that I come across in Vardenfell. Pretty much. I, for one, don't miss the Ashlands except for Ald'Ruhn and my home. Ald'Ruhn is a nice place. Well, here we are. So Khuul is right here. I think. I guess we're gonna have rain traveling to the north. Maybe it'll turn to snow once we get far enough. Okay. That's that. Yeah, this is cold rain. Ooh. I don't know how you could be without a shirt. It is not warm. This is some of the... One of the farthest places north for Dunmer to live. I mean, the Ursula camp is a little bit further north. There's a few Dunmer in Dagenfell, not many. I guess, yeah, he wants a camp there in... Where is it? Ald'Ruhn right now. Yeah. Well, it's a cold time of year. Still winter. And I should like to leave. To go into an even worse climate. I heard...
Hurry! Last
What can I
to
do for you, friend?
Solstheim until the next one.
Your voice is strange, Kajeet. Okay, I've heard that Kajeet takes you north to Solstheim, but not many people use your service. Greetings. Are you in need of transport? Severa will gladly take you to Fort Frostmoth in Solstheim for a small fee. What can you tell me of Solstheim? Severa can take you to Solstheim at a fair price, too. Okay, take me to Fort Frostmoth, then. It's actually quite expensive to cheat. So whatever. Let's go. Wow. It only took a few hours, actually. I guess that's about right. What a different feeling this place has. It's just, there's a coldness in the air. When I move, I can feel it. Probably not the best time of the year to come here. I was actually surprised at the size of this ship when I got on it. Hello. So
All I ask for is a pair of boots. How hard could it be?
Do they make Argonian-shaped boots? I don't think I've ever seen one with shoes on. Actually, I have seen that in Cyrodiil. What am I talking about? Welcome to Solstheim, jewel of absolutely nowhere. It's a miserable place, even for the Warmbloods. If you want to leave, I'd be happy to take you back to Vvardenfell. If you feel you must stay, speak with Captain Falx Carius in his chambers at Fort Frostmoth. Captain Carius is the commander here. Not a bad man, but he is a fool for remaining in this place. So cold. So cold. If you are here about the colony, Carnius Magius is the man you will speak to. Find him at the Imperial Cult Shrine. What can you tell me about Fort Frostmoth? You are in Fort Frostmoth, jewel of the Empire. Get out while you can. Okay, well, what can you tell me about Solstheim? Yes, this is the place. Miserable. Miserable place. So very cold. I will be glad to leave. What can you tell me about Captain Carius? The captain of this fort can be found within its walls. Ask his soldiers where to find him. Go if you wish. I will gladly wait here to make the voyage back to Vvardenfell. What about this Carnius Magius of the Imperial Cult Shrine? I think he's got an office in the Imperial Cult Shrine. Don't know much about the man. But I understand he's got something to do with the new colony on the island. Okay, that's about as much as I can take about it from an Argonian. Oh, there's a large ship. It must be what they use to patrol the waters for pirates, but it's probably smugglers. I don't think there is any pirates. Hello. Sorry, Dark Elf. Can't talk right now. We're waiting for our escort to Raven Rock. Go see Carnius Magius at the shrine if you need something. Alright.
Yes, Outlander. How do you do?
It's cold. It's nice to see some Dunmer here. I suppose you're going to see a lot of Imperials here as well, being an Imperial fort. I don't know if they're going to welcome me here. Hello? It is always an honor, Nervarine. I know you've heard it many times from many people, but let me say it again. Thank you for everything. You know me just by my looks?
I see I stand in good company. What can I do for you?
Are you in charge here? It is truly a pleasure to see you. What can you tell me about Fort Frostmoth? It's the Imperial Fort on the southern shore. Pretty hard to miss. Yeah, doesn't say much. What about Captain Carius? Isn't he the one in charge of Fort Frostmoth? He's with the Imperial Legion, like the rest of them. Can you tell me a specific place in Solstheim? This island is littered with ice caves, barrels, and standing stones. There are no roads, though, so you have to walk through the wilderness to get anywhere. Well, I'm kind of a little bit used to that. Can you tell me about someone in particular? Try Fort Frostmoth, the Skull Village, or Thirsk. That's always a good place to start. Skull Village? What's that? They live in a village in the northern coast of Solstheim. They hold the island's bears and wolves in very high regard. That's strange. Bears and wolves? Bears are all over Solstheim. If you see one, be careful. They're vicious fighters, and some are known to be diseased. I've encountered a few in Cyrodiil. I killed one. Now there's wolves here, I take it. There's also wolves. Do I remember wolves in Cyrodiil? I don't remember wolves. I'm sure there are wolves, though. You'll find them all over this island. Be careful, though. Some of them carry diseases. I'm not worried about disease. Trust me. What can you tell me about Thirsk? Thirsk is a mead hall. It's just to the east of Lake Fjalding. A mead hall? You mean they drink mead there? It's a honey wine. Pretty strong stuff. And Lake Fjalding, did you say? It's toward the northeast of the island, and is covered by ice year-round. Interesting. Can you give me a little advice here on Solstheim? They say Spriggans die 3 deaths. Best to avoid them if I were you. What in the nine is a Spriggan? If you're ever out walking, admiring the trees, and trees start chasing you, well, those are probably Spriggans. Really? Okay, what can you tell me? Is there any little secrets you can let me know in on? They say there's a pirate treasure buried somewhere on the island. Been here for 100 years, and nobody's ever found it. Okay. Alright, thank you. Very helpful. No roads. My map tells me absolutely nothing. I did actually purchase a map from Ald'Ruhn before we left. Oh. Okay, I see the island. I just glanced at it briefly before. There's Fort Frostmoth, and then... Oh, nothing. Oh, there's a Skull Village to the northeast. I guess Thirsk is the Mean Hall. It's just to the south of that, and to the south of that is also... Or, west of Thirsk is Lake Fjalding. That's probably it right there, Lake Fjalding. Thirsk is right there, and Skull Village is up there. And then there's literally nothing else anywhere. There's areas that are named, like Ignor River, Raven Rock right here, Broder Grove. I don't know what these are. We're in a different place. I heard it's almost all Nords here. These trees. You know, these actually remind me of the trees around Bruma. I guess that's bordering Skyrim. Interesting. Snow. I haven't seen that. There's wolves, and there's wolves over there. Brown ones. What's this? Well, I'm no skilled alchemist, but it's some kind of berry. I'm not an alchemist at all. What am I talking about, skilled alchemist? I don't know much of anything about alchemy. I know I like to drink healing potions and magicka potions, and what's the other ones I use? Oh, fatigue. Restore fatigue potions, which I only have one of, by the way. I do have some Cyrodiilic brandy. I think now is the time to drink one. I heard Nords say that drinking alcohol keeps you warm in the snow. I don't know if that's true, though. I never bothered to test it. It did snow in Cyrodiil, but I don't like the cold, so I didn't really go much out into it. Where do I begin? But it's nice to see the Legion here. At least that's something. This whole island. Bears, wolves, and Nords. I feel out of place.
What
Hello?
say you?
What do you want? Go see Captain Carius. Talk to Captain Carius if you're looking for something to do. Head through the general quarters and all the way up to the south staircase. On the 3rd floor are his chambers. That's where you'll find him. If you hear about that colony business, talk to Carnius Magius. He's in the Imperial Cult Shrine. Goodbye. Not a very happy soldier, is he? Well, I've got to explore this place and find out which is where. I doubt these Imperial Legion soldiers, even though I probably outrank every single one of here, including the captain. Now that I think of it. They probably don't recognize me.
What say you? What say you?
Because I'm not in uniform. Would this be where the shrine is? This looks like it would be. Oh, are you the person the priest I've come to see?
Yes? What can this humble priest do for you?
Oh, well, first off, are you Carnius Magius? He's got an office upstairs here in the Imperial Cult Shrine. Don't know much about the man, but I understand he's got something to do with the new colony in the island. That's what somebody, the captain of the ship, told me. Okay. So, what can you tell me about Fort Frostmoth? This place? Awful. Terrible. I'd do anything to get out of here. But it has been decided that this is where I am to spend the prime of my life. Here. Ministering to these savages and fools. Well, such as being part of a priest of the 9 Divines. I don't know why you're complaining about it. Why are you even here? Shouldn't you be out there preaching to them? Okay, so what can you tell me? Latest rumors? Ever been to Broder Grove? Those stones used to be men, before some nasty wizard got to them. That's what the legend says anywhere. Broder Grove, that's to the north of here. There's really nothing on this island. There's something that's called Castle Karstag in the northeast. Northwest, I should say. And there's a big glacier up there. No, this is nothing like Vardenfell. There's practically no one living here. Well. Okay, I guess I'll go upstairs and see the head priest.